What's going on, y'all? It's Nick with Bear Family Farms. Today, I wanted to run through a quick little sheet I made on what does an LGD cost. Um, I know spring's upon us, and people are looking at getting into livestock, or maybe you already are, and you're having babies on the ground, or you're planning to have babies in the fall, or maybe you're losing livestock to predators right now, and you really need to get your hands on a guardian dog, maybe a finished guardian dog, or maybe you have a sheep or goat herd and you're looking to add some puppies or something to your deal, and you're wanting to know, what is a good price for, either of those. So I put this little sheet together really quick. I just want you guys to realize if it's yellow, it's something that y'all are going to fill out, and we'll run through this pretty quickly. I'm going to do two scenarios, one with if you're buying a started dog or maybe even a finished dog, and if you're buying puppies. So those are the two scenarios I'm going to run through real quick. So here, I don't know if you guys see my cursor, it's white, but here's the product. So you're going to be filling out what you feed. So here at Bear Family Farms, we feed a 30% protein. It comes in a 50-pound sack. We get it from Tractor Supply. It's pretty good quality dog feed, and it's about $31 a bag. And once you fill that out, you're going to run over to this over here, this right quadrant over here. Let's say this cell here is how many head you're buying. Let's say you're buying one head, and that one dog, let's say it's a started, almost finished dog, and it is $1,500. Okay, so you're gonna put in, if it's yellow, just remember you're filling it out. Okay, and then I put in 1.25 is what they're going to be eating per day. Some days they're going to be eating less than that. As 1.25, I mean by pounds per head per day. Or maybe they're cold and they're eating a little bit more to stay warm, or maybe in the summertime they're not eating as much. So based off of all the dogs we have here at Bear Family Farms, we've had numerous dogs. At times we've had 20, 25 dogs. And based off the data of what we've purchased throughout the years, this is about a good factor that we see of what one dog is taking in based off of, weights. And then we'll get to weight here in a second. So days fed, obviously, is going to be 1 year. And then average weight. Let's say the average weight of that dog's 95 pounds. Let's say you got it and it fully matures. It's a male. Let's say it matures at 120 pounds. But he fluctuates between, 100 and 120 because some of the months he's working harder. Or let's say you have a female. And, females are going to weigh a little bit less. Let's say she's 90 pounds. So this is just, a rough factor. And then type of dog feed, this is going to be filled out for you. This does not need to be yellow. Don't need to worry about that. Okay, so these here, you can fill these out if you want, but these are, like I said, just what we see here on our ranch. Medically wise, this is going to be including, flea and tick collars, all kinds of wormer and stuff like that throughout the year. One dog's probably going to cost you about $200. That's very high on the high end. Miscellaneous is going to be, maybe you need to get them a dog feeder, a gravity dog feeder. Maybe you need to build them a jump gate. Maybe you have a tracking collar system that costs you yearly. And then we factored in this $125 for an emergency. You're not going to have an emergency every year on a dog, maybe every few years. So if you add that up between the years that you're actually using that emergency, it'll probably factor out to be roughly amount of what the vet bill is going to be. So the total is going to be calculated for you, so don't worry about that. And then over here, you're going to have pretty much everything is going to be generated for you. So how many head are you feeding for that year? Are you taking care of or whatever? The inputs for that LGD that year is going to be $2,257. That's factoring in all we just talked about. And then the purchase price, that gets generated from here. Your total LGDs or total inputs for one LGD is going to be, the factor here. But then after that first year, all you're paying for is feed, vet, miscellaneous, and emergency expenses. Okay? And like I said, some of those are pretty high. If you take good care of your dogs and you keep an eye on them, odds are you can catch the emergencies before they happen and whatnot. So just bear that in mind. So these two here, this actually does not need to be yellow. these two here are what you're going to be filling out. Let's say you have 25 goats, and these are all on the small end. Let's say you have 25 goats or 25 sheep, or maybe a combination of both, and you have just a commercial herd, right? Let's say you value those goats at $250 a head, and the total value of your investment is going to be obviously that times that. It's going to equal this, right? Then over here, I'm breaking it down by day. What is that one LGD costing you to have per day based off of, this price right here, $2,257. Divide that by 365 days a year. That's $6.19 a day to protect a $6,250 investment of your 25 goats. Per month, let's say basically that's $2,257.88 divided by 12. That gives you that. So per month, you're spending about less than $200 to protect your investment. So every month, if you're losing a goat or a sheep, that insurance policy right there, $200. If you're buying a started or close to finished dog for $1,500, that dog's gonna pay for itself. $1,500 sounds like a lot up front, but at the end of the day, if it knows what it's doing and it's doing its job, it's gonna be totally worth it. And then down here at the bottom, we're gonna see what it's gonna be every year after that. And this number here gets bigger because as you have a herd and you want to grow the herd, or let's say I put this factor of 25%. Your herd's gonna grow by 25% every year. Let's just say that. Now, if you want to lowball it, let's just say 20%. Or maybe you're really trying to keep all your replacements and you're growing by 50% or 70%. Like I said, all these numbers are pretty on the low end, just to give you guys a rough estimate. So that one dog, obviously, is going to be protecting 25 head plus some kids, right? Well, then you have to start thinking about getting another dog. We always advise, we like to see dogs in pairs. That's how we run them. Some people run them in singles. That's totally fine. But I just wanted to put this together really quick to show you guys it is not a lot of insurance to protect your animals when you're thinking about buying a started to finished dog, or let's say you're buying a pup from a reputable breeder, and let's say you're getting 2 puppies, and each puppy's going to run you about $350, right? The average weight factor of that dog, you're going to get him at 12. Let's say you get 12, 15 pounds. Let's say he gets up to, within that first year, he gets up to 90 pounds, right? I'm over here. Well, let's say the average, divide that by 2. Let's say the average weight for that dog in that year is going to be about 75 pounds. Again, you're getting him as a pup, and he's growing and he's eating. Obviously, the second year he's going to be more heavy, but this is just factoring in. You're filling this out. Everything else is going to get filled out for you. If you like the 200, if you like these numbers, you can. If you don't, you can change them. But everything else changes, right? So now, let's say you're training the dog, you're getting him as a puppy, and you're paying $350 a head for that dog. It's really not a lot of money when you think about it, the big picture, when you look at it like this. 2 dogs, 2 pups, and let's say you have a herd of 50, right? And you value them at $250. Obviously, a lot of people value their goats a lot higher. People run registered animals, people run seed stock, or maybe you're just running commercial. Like I said, the number here, it can be bigger. Let's just say you're running a seed stock quality animal and you're wanting to add 2 puppies to your already operation, and you have 50 head of goat or 50 head of sheep or goats or both, and you value them a little bit higher. Let's say you value them at $450 a head. Look at that. The possibilities of this sheet's pretty much endless when you start thinking about it in the big picture, and you see it like this, and you realize that those $1,500, $2,000 dogs that are finished, or maybe even more, are really not that pricey when you map it out by an insurance policy on your investment per day and per month. Same thing goes with a puppy. If you know what you're doing and you know how to train a dog, or maybe you have an older dog that knows how to train dogs, let's say you're getting some puppies and you're thinking, $350 or $500 if you're getting a registered animal. $500, $600 for a puppy is a lot of money. It really does not factor in. You're thinking that's a lot of money, but it's really not when you look at it like this. So I just want to throw that out there for you guys. I know it's a lot of mumbo jumbo, but here it is.